1.
Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on June 8th, 2024 at approximately 4:30 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies I personally guide virtually every move I make by. With this in mind, I know these tools will work for you, depending entirely on your own personal effort, because they have worked for me and they continue to do so, and they have worked for literally thousands of other people. Now, before we get into it, let's see what we got here. We have LA Moon. How you doing? Glad you could join us. The reality is, guys, that we do our best. I was just looking at it. We're actually at 427. No, I think that's wrong. I know that's wrong. What am I at? 627 now? Yeah, 627 subscribers right now. Renee, you are in with gold. How you doing? Now, we're going to look at a very simple thing. The concept is easy. Implementation may be a bit of a pain. We are going to look at a practical guide to self-confidence. Now, what does that mean? Well, here's the key. Here's the real kicker to it. Self-confidence is seldom something somebody is born with. Rachel, oh, wait a minute. We got Renee in with the gold. We have Joe Stewart. You are in with the silver. How you doing? Hopefully things are going rather intriguingly. And we have Rachel is in with the bronze. We are getting off to a start. And there comes Woo and Woo Riders in with honorable mention. So self-confidence, understand when I was growing up, my self-confidence was so low. And how low was it? It was literally so low that I wouldn't even talk to my own family about what I was going through. That was also my self-esteem that was in the bucket, amongst other things. Joseph, how you doing? Glad you could join us. This coming August is going to be an interesting one. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing, because if I don't figure out how to do things and decide what I'm doing with them, the last half of August, I won't be on air at all, because I'm not planning on taking my computer with me. I run into way too many problems and can't take the monitors anyway. But self-confidence is something that comes from experience, literally. Okay, now, every method that I talk to you guys about, I am literally trying out. Like, I literally put them to use to see if they work. Which is why, when I take a look at this little bundle here, yep, that one there. Hands clearly don't work well. I talk to you guys a lot about the to-do list. And as you can see, I think you can see it if you're in the chat room. Okay, literally, that is my list. That's my to-do list that I keep in here for every day I've done it. Now, this covers all the way into current, which is June. Okay, but the reason I do that is I can look back over it and go, okay, this is what I put to use. This is what I tested. And frankly, this neat little one here is my active to-do list. It will end up in the bin in that folder. Okay, whatever it is you're aiming at doing. maybe you haven't had experience. Take a look at just today. Okay, now I've got very limited taste buds, no sense of space and no sense of time to speak of. And yet I turned around and I literally took it on myself today going, okay, I'm probably going to scramble it, but let's give it a shot. Took 2 slow cookers and made up about 3 gallons of soup. It actually turned out edible, which for me, that's a plus. But it does mean that I can go and I can start doing that again. It's the same thing with everything you're working on. If you haven't done it before, absolutely talk to somebody that has successfully done what you're aiming for. And I just about missed you there, Philip. Welcome aboard. Glad you could join us. I trust things are going well on your end of the world. Oh, there we are. What do we got here? Joe's going today outside my garage, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I looked out in the sky in front of me. About 80 yards out, a thin, short, black figure flew pretty fast across the sky. Now, there is no way that I can let you know, that I can tell you much about that. But, well done. Philip, it is beef vegetable with potato, carrot, celery, cauliflower, and broccoli in it. But I made enough of it so I don't have to cook again for a while. But every time I made soup before, it's always turned out bland. So I did the intelligent thing. My son is a trained cook, so I talked to him. Now, clearly, I couldn't talk to my mom very well anymore. Well, she died like 6 years ago. Sorry, 5 years ago. Puts a little bit of kink in things. But whatever it is you're aiming at, self-confidence is developed by repeated success or repeated improvement. Okay. Now, I wonder if you can actually see it. I've started writing with my left hand again. Okay. But there's a neat little kick to the left hand writing. See if I put it in the right place. I did so. So all I'm doing is grabbing a sheet of it. I don't know if you'll be able to see. That's probably too light. We're going to try anyway. Jeez, rubbish. Balance like that, that's useful. I'm going to see if you... Now, I'm not expecting you to be able to read it per se, but you'll notice the glitch in the left-hand writing. Okay. Now, I put that there just to show you can deal with it. Well, no, I talk to them on a regular basis. The problem is that there are certain things that don't translate well. And when you've got no time, space, or taste differentiated, it is cursive there. It is absolutely cursive there, Philip. But take a look at the interesting glitch. Okay, if you look at it, it's also backwards. My left hand, I write mirror image with. And that just kind of developed of its own accord. But when you're aiming at doing something, practice does not make perfect, but practice does make better. Okay, so what I'm looking at, let me ask you this. Okay, from your standpoint, whoa. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta ask, Rachel, you've mentioned you switch back and forth writing. Are you talking back and forth as in from writing to printing, or right hand to left hand, or do the really creative idea? Stormy will drink to just about anything given a good alcohol. And rest assured, guys, Storm is a lot of things, but an alcoholic is not one of them. I like LA's response. My writing is cursive. I swear a lot. See, you just got to learn to judge and to gauge that right, LA. You don't swear a lot if you compare yourself to the right person. Okay. Now, what was the guy's name? What the heck was his name? Carl, I believe, was his first name. Absolutely hilarious. Oh. See, a buddy of mine in school had to do a an Egyptian report on Egypt. So he decided to be a little creative. He wrote the report in hieroglyphics. Threw the teacher for a loop and a half. But whatever it is you're aiming at, absolutely imperative. Okay. Absolutely imperative. Get your mind set on doing it. No. Stand-up comedian. And we are not talking Karl Marx. But I have no doubt about that. I think I'll just ask the dogs when I get there. No, the thing is this. When you're looking at now, why, pray tell, I'm pulling an absolute blank on it, which annoys me. But that's okay. The neat part about it, when I learned to write cursive and write with my left hand in the first place, my right hand, I've shown you how it shakes. That's mild compared to what it used to be. So I figured, okay, I'll teach myself to write left-handed. And I was thinking, take a sheet of paper, write a whole pile of A's, just like in elementary school, each letter across. And I was at work, something distracted me. Okay. Something distracted me, and I look back at the sheet and I've written an entire sentence out backwards. I'm like, okay, well, that's new. Apparently, I don't have to learn. There we go. Thank you, LA. Yes, George Carlin. George Carlin, that was a comedian that he was twisted, which may be why I got along with him. Well, more to the point, enjoyed him. Whatever it is you're aiming at, okay, make note of it. Go, this is what I'm doing. Every day, literally every day. It's very much like a habit thing. I'm presuming that you're referring to George Carlin also being psychic. I was thinking psychotic, but, psychic probably works. The neat part about it, when I decided I was going to get everything sorted out, I now have on my list of things to do, I've got 12 things every day that I get done. I don't have them, so I've got to get them done before, I do anything else. It's just these 12, I make certain I get to. Okay. And literally, I really strongly suggest you do the same thing. Literally, self-confidence comes from successfully accomplishing a task, over and over again. The neat thing is this: when I'm looking at the way I went about it, the way I went about going, okay, how do I gain the confidence to do what I do? On this, if you go back to the first streams I did, I actually spent, I think, about 6-8 months just doing pre-records. Then I finally went live. And it was literally a question of repeatedly doing it to get comfortable. Now I don't have a problem with it. Okay. Speaking live at an event I've done. Okay. I'm not entirely comfortable with it, but I am quite willing to go there. Now, I will tell you, all the practice in the world, I'm not holding my breath on curing my anxiety about it. But whatever goal you're looking at, whatever it is you're aiming at doing, every single goal you have, every single project you start works towards building your self-confidence by simply successfully accomplishing it. Okay. A lot of the time, what we're facing is a very simple issue. You're taught from the time you're taught that you're in arms, you're taught to fear everything. Okay. And literally you're told you're not good enough to do that. I cannot tell you the number of would-be authors and artists that have told me they've been told they weren't good enough. I'm sitting there going, yeah, you really are. I mean, let's get this and let's put a couple of examples out there. Okay. Let's take your ability to draw. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to become an animator. You're not good enough to draw because you've been told that's not possible. Okay. There is a guy that put what became a syndicated cartoon on the air. The guy drew Stickman. Okay. Here's another example for you. Let's go music. Now, you don't want me singing, just take my word for that. But for people that can't make money with music, Gene Simmons, the people off AC/DC, Rolling Stones, the Beatles, you get the picture. Okay. Music can make you money if you market it properly. Now, I'm not great at the marketing side. Oh, Joseph goes, I thought I was being promoted in the Army because of my electronic skills. I got a copy of my records today. It was my leadership skills that got me promoted. Young me, a leader? Well, the reality is that is what people are looking for. Okay. We're taught to follow the leader. Unfortunately, in my opinion, much of the human race were taught to be leaders like lemmings. Now, at least lemmings have a reason. Every 4 years, lemmings, their food goes sour, and they go running. They run until they go run off the cliff. Humans got a different idea, especially in the democratic countries I've looked at. I don't know what the other ones are like. Okay. But I know in Canada, and from what I gather in the States, now look at the similarity. Every 4 years, we elect a new leader to drive us off to lead us off the cliff, or into a wall, or into a dead end. Okay. Now, it's not always the leader that starts to run first. It's not the leader that always runs first. Sometimes the mass of people starts running, and the leader pops up, and he looks up and looks around and goes, I must hurry and catch up, for I am their leader. I love the people that race past me to get up to a stoplight. What I'm doing at this point is, yes, I've decided quite seriously, I grew up extremely reclusive, okay, avoiding people and frankly avoiding life. But I'm telling you, this world is short of leaders. If you look at the way your community is operating, are you content with the way it's going? Okay. If you're not, it is time to, quite seriously, and I'll put my foot in it on this one, literally follow my lead. If you're not happy with the way that your community is operating, become the leader. As the saying goes, become the change you desire to see. Now, I'm moving forward with things, and what I am doing at this point is literally going, I'm not content with the way my world is going. I'm not content with the layout. So I am doing the only thing that I can do, and I'm the only one that can do it. Okay. I am changing my world by simply going, this is what the stream is going to do. I mentioned some time back, I was going to combine Positive Perspectives, the newsletter, and Positive Perceptions, the live stream. Okay. And what I ended up, and I looked at it and went, there's got to be a third one, because the reality is when you're looking at what? Yeah, I hear you. Got Munchkin outside my window, sitting on the eavesdrop here, just having a conniption. But I figured, okay, there is primarily three aspects that actually make things happen. So I looked at it and went, where's the third one coming from? Anybody got any idea where the third concept was? Steve, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully things are going well. So where did I get the third link that I've got to keep in balance with the other two? That I've got to combine to make a solid front. Now, and just dawned on me here. Okay, I've always held 3 is the number. Okay, 3 is the absolute backbone of survival, because it covers those 3. 3 is the number of creativity. There are 3 karmic laws. Okay, that they are equally important. Just like a 3-legged stool, every leg on a stool is on a 3-legged stool is equally important. If one is shorter or weaker than the rest, the stool is going to fall down. But the third aspect, I have Positive Perceptions, which is the auditory side, Positive Perspectives, which is the visual side, okay, as in the written side. And then I looked at the positivity of my life. Okay, that's the physical side. The more senses you can involve in whatever you're creating, the more successful you're going to be. Okay, now I'm giving you the short formula, which of success, which is belief plus focused effort. But there is another formula that's a little bit more broken down. In order for you to be successful at anything, literally anything, if you can come up with an idea of one that doesn't fit, absolutely let me know. But get this, and yes, I'm in the middle of writing this. You have to have a purpose. Why are you changing whatever is going on in your life? Why are you changing it? What is the purpose? Then you've got to have a plan to make it happen. Okay. And once you've got the plan in place, now you've got to be persistent. Consistently repeating yourself is going to work. Don't take my word for it. Don't go, oh, it doesn't work that easy. If you have not given it a shot and you're still unhappy with your success level, absolutely adopt a new one. Okay. And the fourth one in the whole formula is you got to have patience. the odds are you did not get to the state you're in overnight. Now, some of you did. Okay. LA's going, you have to have the mission to get to the rest of it. Hence the idea of you got to have a purpose. What is your goal? Okay. In my case, every one of my primary goals, I've got a purpose. Ultimately, all of it points to the same thing. I decided I've spent literally 56 years hiding from the world, hiding from life. But mankind is in a bad way. And I'm no better than any of the rest of you. I'm just essentially the same. Okay. But I am fully aware that the people that are claiming to be leaders are leading us into an absolute dead end with a threshing machine at the back end of it. I'm thinking this is a bad road. Now, having the memories of society collapsing overnight, not overnight, of watching society collapse, I know the signs. Okay. I have not read a bunch of books on what people say were the signs. I remember being there. Now, here's a neat little thing where it come to the fall of Rome. Okay, they were treating the common people like garbage, and the bankers and their friends like absolute gold. The thing that most people don't seem to realize. Yes, no, Renee. Purpose is step one. Yeah, purpose. Then you have plan. Step 3 is you've got to have persistence. Then patience. Matter of fact, why don't they do that? Let's do it this way. I don't know if this is going to work well, but we're going to see. Because I know what my handwriting is like. If I don't take my glasses off, I can't actually read. Because I can't see the paper. So what I'm doing here I'm just going to put this out so everybody can see. Now, again, my handwriting is not something we talk. Well, I'm not handwriting for that reason. But this will make it easy. At least if you can read it. Okay. Here we go. Well, yeah, that's so I can make sure I can see what I'm aiming at. There you go, guys. Terrible printing, but at least you can read it, I do believe. I'm just going to hold it there for a minute so you've actually got time to write it down. Those four parts of it will help you get exactly where you are. And when did Joseph go here? Exploration, to explore new ideas with our constraints, and I'm not sure if you had another word you were intending to put there. Constraints and need, and then you've got and need, which brings me back to Monty Python. Oh, not a problem there. There we go. The thing that we have to look at is repeatedly doing the same thing is the way to get better at it. It's a way to get the self-confidence. So, yes, I come in here now, figured out where a lot of my issues were, and a lot of it had to do growing up. I did not see any value in what I was doing. In all fairness, I still will tell you, every one of you is just as qualified to do what I'm doing as I am. Not a problem there, Renee. Glad to help. What I'm doing, you have the same capacity. Okay? Whether you got the same drive or not is anybody's guess. You get to figure that one out. But, oh, by the way, thanks for guarding the cup. You know, I think she's a coffeeholic because my coffee cup is already down to half size. You know, I have found that whatever it is you're up against, doesn't matter what field, if you're not confident and comfortable doing it, repeatedly doing it over and over, okay, over time, not 3 hours at a time and you got it down. Okay, the fact that this is working, that this list is working, I've got almost 6 months of records showing it has worked. The persistence thing comes in real handy in this case. Okay, now, as my other half mentioned today, we are looking at traveling a lot more. I never traveled when I was growing up. Well, I shouldn't say never. Between 202 and 207, I was on the air or on the road, traveling to different cities, working as a traveling psychic. Okay. And then 214, I ran with a company called West Coast Amusements, a live fair. Okay. Where I was reading as a professional psychic. After that all closed down in 2014, I quit traveling. I haven't been on the road to speak of this is 10 years now, I guess. 2 trips, I think, in 10 years. Now I've got the second one taking place the middle of August, and we've already discussed making another one at the beginning of December. Does that do a thing for my anxiety over travel? No, but let's face it, all the practice in the world hasn't done a thing for me where it comes to direction. Absolutely. Joseph goes, planning to explore without constraints or purpose has yielded amazing results. Yeah, it's been a while, LA. And I will tell you, John, this is just a heads up. 10 years ago, I was literally about 240 pounds. I am now under 190. Now, unlike my older brother, I am never, and my really good friend, I will never be half the man I used to be unless I drop dead. But it is now time to go, okay, what's the next step? Okay, well, the next step from my standpoint is streamlining the focus on getting positive perspectives out and getting it proper circulation, getting the advertising out so that I can actually start generating a decent income with my writings. Okay, I've got a wall of books over here in stock with no marketing capacity, with no effective marketing taking place. Starting to learn how to remember how to do that. Thing is, like the live stream, I had no practice at it. I'd been on a few radios, okay, but I got thrown into that one quite by accident as well. Well, by accident on my part. Now what I'm telling you is, and this is going to sound really cocky, but if things go well with this stream, with positive perspectives, and with telling people, look, you desire me on your stream, drop me a line. We will see what we can do about arranging it. Yeah, and Joseph goes, there's always an element of risk involved when deviating from the norm without a safety net. But for those willing to take the leap, the potential rewards can be significant. I remember, now you guys have heard of bungee jumping. Obviously, virtually everybody has now. I remember seeing the first bungee jump when That's terrible, Joseph. That really is. Joseph goes, stay off the radios. I have a horrible time doing cabinet repair. That's just terrible. But, the reality of it is, and I forgot where I was going. Thank you very much. Mind like a sieve. When I look at what's going on with my life, okay, I went, we have to change the way we're doing this. If we stay as a society on the path we're on, we are completely hooped. Okay, don't take my word for it. Watch what happens. Sit back, put your feet up, go. I'm just going to grab a beer or I'm going to grab a coffee, go and get my lawn chair out. I'm going to watch the end come. I love the people standing on the street corner around my place going, God is coming to straighten this out. Last time God came to straighten something out, he dropped a meteor on the planet. I'm thinking this isn't necessarily good for society. And you'll notice, now I wrote a poem a long time ago. I don't even know where it is offhand. But it's a simple issue. All the well wishes in the world, all the good intentions in the world are absolutely useless if you don't get off your chair. Okay. I mean, when we take a look at that, here's way back in the 70s, and I think into the 80s, we have bumper stickers all over the place. We had one that I saw in a car, and this is what I'm looking at now. Okay, picture me as the mini miner. Okay, tiny little subcompact car. The guy had a bumper sticker on it. It says, "When I grow up, I want to be a semi." Okay, now I am virtually unheard of. Okay, I am not anything to contend with. I intend on taking myself to the forefront. Okay, yeah, I don't like crowds. I absolutely don't. But can you think of one thing I dislike more than crowds? Can anybody guess what the one thing is I dislike? Well, there's actually two things that I dislike more than crowds. Yeah, that was one that that I saw, and Joseph says another common saying back then was grass or gas. No one rides for free. That literally, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the term, man, if you were getting a ride, you either brought marijuana, okay, brought weed, whatever you want to call it, or you put money in the tank for gas. Okay, now what is the one thing that you can think of that I would possibly dislike more than crowds? Yes, I will give you the answer in a few moments if I don't see one come up. I'm just curious. Now, the neat part about it, okay, and I have the one thing I did find out, and I'll check this at the end of the show, is what kind of numbers we had in the chat room, just because I want to get track of it and see where it's going. The neat part about it is this: I'm going to the front. Oh, I got no fear of flying at all. No fear at all. I will fly much more readily than I will drive. And here's why. Number one, way too many options of getting lost when you're driving. When you're flying, oh no, I tried a tornado. No, the thing I like, the thing I like less than crowds is watching people get guided down the garden path by what I consider idiots. Okay, when you're told you cannot lose weight by the professional medical society. Okay, you're told you cannot lose weight by cutting back on what you're eating. You've got to buy this pill. I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. I cut back what I was eating. I increased my amount of activity. I got rid of 60 pounds in 2 years. Not in 2 months, granted. On the other hand, I don't have a whole lot of excess skin hanging around. You know, but I absolutely find it appalling that so many people go against their word. I'm going to do this. This is why part of the drive for doing this stream, seriously, sad to say, and it sounds really bad. Essentially, I'm using the stream. Joseph, depends on the health problem and the person. Okay. Because Joseph goes, does not work for people with health problems. I'm still listed as an epileptic. Okay. Well, skip the issue of I was diagnosed dead. Okay. My eyesight, I was told, would not heal. It would continue to get worse. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm looking at the screen in front of me. I can actually read. It's a little fuzzy, but I can read what is on the screen now. Health problems, in many cases, can be cured. And I do mean cured, but let me be very clear about something. If you're seeing a doctor right now, whether it is a medical doctor, a naturopath, an horticulturalist, a dentist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, doesn't matter. If you're getting treatment, stick with it. What I did was I stuck with it and then corrected the problem until I no longer required the medical backup. But you stay with it. A friend of mine is a clinical paranoid schizophrenic. And as he put it, he goes, I feel better because I'm on the medication. Medication does work. I don't like it, so I find a way around it. But what I do is I use it long enough to figure out the way around it without it killing me. Okay, now, you take some illnesses, some accidents, and yeah, repairing them is going to be a little bit of a problem. You know, the thing is, very little doesn't work. Although we are taught from the get-go. Okay. You know, when you go to kindergarten, assuming you went, what's the first thing you're told and that you're taught? You're taught to line up and shut up. Okay, to line up and be quiet. That's what you're taught. And I know from being in the military, you're taught the same thing. Line up and do what you're told. Okay, I had weird parents. What they said was, think before you speak. Think before you act. If you don't know, ask. Weird setup in the world at that point, especially. But given the fact that I was told my eyes would never heal, and frankly, they're getting stronger, okay, I still won't drive without glasses. Okay, this is a bad idea. Although I did find out if you stay on the sidewalk, you won't run into as many cars. Okay, diagnosed epileptic. We found a cure. Do not use it. Okay, I call it a cure. I'm still listed as epileptic, but I haven't had a seizure in 44 years. Okay, approximately. I'm still listed that way, but the cure I found was I had a fatal seizure. Okay, and yes, in other words, I had a seizure so bad, my heart stopped, and they had to re-kick it. Now, I'll tell you, it worked like a charm. I'll also tell you it's a bad idea. Oh, Lord, absolutely, LA. Yeah, because what happens is LA is just going so often, the mentally ill will get better on meds, and then somehow they glitch and go off, thinking they're all better, and bam, they're back to square one. The key is this, and a buddy of mine phrased it beautifully: to know oneself is to know all. In other words, if you know your system isn't working right, and you're on the meds and it's suddenly working right, understand those meds are probably having a benefit. Now, I tried medication to help drop weight. It would have worked. 3 days into using it as prescribed, I had a heart attack. Didn't end up dying, but not fun. Okay, needless to say, I don't go there. Yeah, Joseph goes, I break for aliens, even cloaked ones. You know, I knew somebody that had a bumper sticker on the front of their car. It said, I swerve for pedestrians. And the sad part was, it wasn't even being facetious. He was just telling people he would deliberately try and run over people, and quite successfully on occasion. But no, I am still a firm believer, and I do like what LA pointed out. The memes are the bumper stickers of the 70s were the memes of today. Now, I don't know much in the way of the memes, but then I stay off the computer aside from writing. But when we are talking about building your self-confidence, pick whatever goal. Now, I know there's a few of you out there that would like to get a book in print. Okay, a book, a short story, that sort of thing. And yeah, I haven't read it yet, Joseph. I haven't read the one you sent me. I'm going to take a look at it, and I'll respond to that side of it. I know 100% weight loss is really a bad idea. You know, my dad took a look at my size and my muscle and my bone density, and he goes, Keith, get down to 180 and stay there. You know, I'm 190 something, 100 I'm right around the 190 right now. Okay. But now that I've got this neat little thing I just figured out how to do, as in soup. Okay. People lived on soup for centuries. Okay. I could never make it. And it tasted like absolute garbage. So what I ended up doing was I bought canned soup and added to it. Okay, which worked out well. Now I don't have to buy the canned soup. Now I can buy fresh vegetables and get healthy that way. But here's the neat little thing. Repeat the process. You've heard the term rinse and repeat. Well, it boils down to this. You desire your life to change. You're the one that's going to have to do it. Much like on a negative side, if you don't change what you're doing, your life is going to continue down that negative path. On the quest for self-confidence, successfully repeating the same process time and time again will accomplish the goal you're looking at, that you're striving to attain. Now, like many of you, and I've made no bones about it, I still believe wholeheartedly in God. I still believe wholeheartedly in Christ, probably more so than most of you. However, am I going to church every day? That depends. I wake up and I open the window and I look outside, and that's where my link is. I don't go to a building. Okay. But I see so many people wander into the building, sit down, and listen to somebody up the front going, you're not worthy. You're going to hell because you're a sinner. You were born as a sinner. And I'm thinking, how about I do this? I'm going to sit here, look at all you guys out there, whether you're live in the chat room now or you watch this later, and I'm going to look you dead in the eye. Now, you get to move so you can see the dead in the eye thing. Okay. I'm going to tell you, you've got the capacity to change your life for the better. you do have the ability, regardless of where you are in life, to change most aspects. Okay, certain things you're going to have to get used to. Okay, one of the biggest ones that stand to reason, in my eyes, if you're missing a limb or you're missing an organ, however it went away, the odds of you growing it back are not good. Okay, the one exception I've seen consistently is, now, obviously, hair, you can shave yourself bald and it'll grow back. Okay, if your teeth fall out, they, according to modern science, you can't regrow them. Well, somebody forgot to tell my father that. He regrew 3 sets of front teeth. Okay, so they can be regrown. If you're missing a limb, though, my guess is you're going to be pretty much hooped. You got to accept the fact it's gone. Okay, as annoying as that is, you've got to work with it. However, your finances, and I will say this wholeheartedly, okay, stay working with the medical profession. If you're working with them already, stay working with them. I will tell you most mental illnesses, and if you want to know more about which ones, drop me a line and ask me about your situation. I will absolutely tell you whether or not it's likely we can turn it around. I'm not about to tell you which ones I feel are frankly misdiagnosed from the get-go. But in all fairness, they are being misdiagnosed because they were taught to misdiagnose by people that didn't know how to diagnose them in the first place. I am no medical doctor. I am no, trained, educated psychologist or psychiatrist. I just simply know what I've seen. Okay, and know what I've helped to facilitate. And yes, there are very few medical problems that cannot be cured. But I will tell you, it takes 2 factors. It takes the 4 P's there, but number 1, you have to believe that you are capable. You may not know how to do it right now, but you're capable of remembering how to heal yourself, whatever the illness. Okay. Now, I will tell you some of the big ones that I run into troubles with. Okay. PTSD is a massive problem because you got to deal with it when it's taking place. And for those of you that suffer from it, rest assured, I feel for you. I've got it myself. But you've got to deal with it when it happens. And oddly enough, people that suffer from PTSD do their level best to stay out of those. Okay, they do their best to stay out of the situations that trigger it. Okay, finances, there's no question, no matter what your state. Okay, nope, that's not true. In most cases, okay, most people's financial state, I can actually guide you through getting your finances back on track with your money. Okay. Joseph goes, you cannot go back and change the beginning, but you have an excellent opportunity to change the ending. Absolutely the point, Joseph. This is what positive perceptions is all about, and positive perspectives. I'm taking both of those streamlines and I'm putting those together to change my life as it is now. Okay, I'm offering you the opportunity to join me on this journey and change your life at the same time. Now, you have free will, freedom of will, freedom of choice. You don't have freedom of consequence. Okay, now, I'm not going to be making the changes for you, but I will absolutely guide you through the changes. Like I said, the time for my sitting in the shadows and going, gee, I wish these people would get a brain. And I've said a lot worse things to some people indirectly. Okay. I was playing D&D on Thursday, and my character, he has, for those of you that know gaming, my character has, and because of racial differences, he had a starting charisma of 3. Okay. Say why, but he's got an intelligence and wisdom of 17. So what does he do? He walks into the Mages College. He's looking for work. Walks into the Mages College, looks at the clerk, and goes, "Who do I talk to about getting a job teaching these screw-ups how to actually work with magic?" And the guy looks at me and goes, "You might want to start by not referring to the potential students as screw-ups." Okay, and in all fairness, art emulates real life. Now, I don't know who did that or how they did it, but thank you. Somebody just highlighted Joseph's statement. And it's a very solid one. This is why I say you cannot change your past. There's no way you can. It's why you can't travel back in time. Okay, but you can certainly turn around, look at what was done, and compensate for it in most cases. I will tell you, when I put the ketchup on the ice cream, I really would have loved to have been able to take it off. Never again did I ever put ketchup on ice cream again, though. Found out that was a really bad idea. If you don't believe me, by the way, go ahead and try it. This is one I will tell you. It's not a good idea, but there is absolutely no physical harm in trying it. I tried ketchup and vanilla ice cream. In my opinion, once was definitely enough. I'll tell you, my eldest son came up with a brand new one on that one. Joseph goes, "I crave a world where motives of the chicken to cross the road is no longer questioned. Why did the chicken cross the road? Lots of reasons. My son, when he was in kindergarten, come home absolutely excited. And he comes up with this joke. He goes, Dad, why did the chicken cross the road?" I looked at him and I went, "Well, with the variables available, right?" I says, could have been anything. He goes, "Dad, the chicken crossed the road because he was pinned to the lip of a punk rocker." And I just looked at him. I'm like, okay, that was bad. When we take a look at the world you're in, I am quite willing to stand here momentarily. I'm going to have to go away. By the way, on the plus side, I've only drank 2 pots of coffee so far. This is my 3rd one. Maybe that's not a plus. The reality is, take a look at that little joke. Uh-oh. Joseph goes, 1 minute, I gotta get into the car. I like the old saying, if you don't like the way I drive, stay off the sidewalk. The one that threw me was when I hit a pedestrian with my car. Okay, I was already at the bottom end. I was already on the lowest interest, lowest insurance rate I could get at the time, or at least I thought so. Hit a pedestrian, didn't get points, didn't get a ticket, but when I went through and do my insurance rate dropped. Granted, only by $2 or $3, but I looked at it and went, "Gee, should I go shopping in the mall with my car? See if I can get my insurance for free?" This is a bad idea, by the way. Now, I'm going to take this moment to go and grab my coffee because this young lady, she keeps drinking my coffee on me. So, give me half a minute. I'll be right back.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And we are back. Hey guys, we are back. Now here's a new one for you, by the way. I'm a firm believer that I will take money from wherever I can get it. What I wasn't expecting, was it this one? Watch, I grabbed the wrong sheet. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Where is it? This one. I will take money from anybody if it's offered. Okay. And what they did, this is from my insurance company, my auto insurance. Christine, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, but they sent me a check. Okay. Which is great. So it'll go to the bank tomorrow. Oh, perfect. Thank you for letting me know, Christine. I am very, very happy. I hope that helps you. Yeah, I'd recommend it after work and not while you're driving. But no, I'm making headway on a lot of fronts. So the reality of it is this. I will quite readily. Now, if I was told years ago. Oops. I was told years ago, if I really desired to make an impact, start a church. And I looked into it, but here's the kicker. The mainstream churches have turned around and made it almost impossible. If you're not mainstream, you're not getting a church started. So I'm not starting a church. Okay, but I will tell you, I am quite willing to repeat myself time and again to say, okay, you actually can make your life better. And here's how to go about doing it. Okay, I'm quite willing to take the time to do that. What I'm no longer willing to do, and it's probably a good thing, it's going to take away my ability to hide in the shadows, right, is I'm no longer willing to sit back and go, I can't do anything. I woke up one morning while I was writing my journal, and it's like, if not me, who? If not now, when? Well, we can keep postponing changing this world and waiting for the governments, the spiritual leaders, the politicians to decide when we're going to change this world. Or we can go, nope, had enough. It's changing now. Okay. Now, for me to turn around with no sense of taste to speak of, no sense of space or time to functionally operate, although it begs the question, how the heck I've been driving, I decided, okay, I'm going to teach myself how to cook. Well, what does teaching yourself mean? You read a book that tells you how to do it, or talk to somebody that has done it successfully. Okay. Or better yet, forget you don't know how. Okay. And this is where I'm looking at with the marketing. Okay. Now, I will tell you, the books that I'm writing, all I'm putting the price at, and they may eventually go up in price. Okay, but here's the kicker. I've got inventory that I paid X amount for. I have set the prices to accommodate making sure I can reorder and cover shipping. Unfortunately, shipping is a killer. But when I go down in August, part of the journey down in August is to literally talk to Storm and LA about him, and if Joseph is there, which I'm hoping I get to meet Joseph as well. Talk to them about turning the books that I've got into audibles or into PDF. At which point, okay, once I get that done, now all of a sudden the information can go out. Okay, it'll be easier to attain, less expensive, easier to move. I won't be turning back to another marketing professional. To my experience, they are about as useful as a screen door in a submarine. And at least a screen door in a submarine keeps the fishes out. Or keeps the sailors in, depending on how you look at it. You know, I mean, that's just morbid. Yeah, let's put a whole bunch of people you don't like in a submarine, put a screen door on the submarine, and then submerge it. It has benefits, but, you know, I'm thinking this is a bad idea. And besides that, what sailor is going to get, and I hope they're still called sailors, to get into submarines? You know, which one is going to go onto a submarine or into it if the thing's got a screen door? Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is just a bad idea. One of the things we have to look at is if you desire your world to change. And I'm sitting here looking at a picture on my desktop. I love the picture. It's crystal clear. Okay, but it gives me something to work with. I mentioned a long time ago, I was going to be working on my art, as in drawing. Well, I've got a picture here. I know I can freehand enlarge, so that's what I'm going to start working with. But this one picture, it's of a T-Rex. Now, I started studying T-Rex, dinosaurs. I was teaching my little brother about the life cycles of dinosaurs before I got into kindergarten. Now, here's the thing. Yeah. He goes, I want to be where the people aren't. Oops, Freudian slip. I didn't think Freud wore slips, in all fairness. But, the reality of it is, I'm quite willing to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. Here's the proof it works. Okay. Now, some of you have copies of the books I've written. Okay. The important ones at this point, okay, self-confidence is literally repeatedly doing the same thing and watching and encouraging yourself to make improving adjustments. Okay. It's kind of neat when you think about it. That just paints a really bad picture. If you think about it, when you take a look at this, believe in yourself and follow your dreams. If you believe you can develop self-confidence, you're already halfway there. Okay, now you just require a little bit of practice, a little bit of repetition, a little bit of persistence, and you will find you attain the goal you're aiming at. If you're running short on it, I had a client years ago. She desired to be a doctor, an MD, all her life. I met her when she was 52. We got talking about it. At 53 years old, she enrolled in medical school. I worked with her on a weekly basis, helping her hold on to her dream, helping her stay focused, and finding the positive side of things so that she could actually get there. And like I told her at the get-go, I says, we'll get you there. I have no doubt we'll get you there. You'll do the work. But be aware, the odds of you're not going to have a long medical career before you hit the age of recommended retirement. Okay. Like the odds of you becoming a 40-year vet in medicine, not good. Okay. But at 60 years old, she was awarded her MD. She got her license. Okay. You have the same capacity. You desire to become, desire to become a mechanic, desire to become whatever. Okay. There are limits. From what I gather, if your eyesight shot, you're not becoming a pilot. But I don't know if that's still the case. Lord knows your eyesight can be shot and you can learn to drive. I wish people would learn. But the fact of the matter is, you start repeatedly doing the same thing with the intention of getting better. You will get better. Okay. Matter of fact, I should do that while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I don't do my left-hand writing. I haven't gotten the habit yet of doing it daily. But I have got, trying to figure out where to sit here. May 5th. Yeah, definitely have not done daily. What do we got? What I'm doing here, these are just the few times I've done it. That I've been working on getting my left-hand writing back. So that is something I will absolutely be focusing on because it's time for me to make it happen. Not time for anybody else. I'm the one that's got to do it. And by the way, gravity works. Where are we here? That's right. Oh, okay. Those are done that way. If they're done that way, I'm going to have to start writing the other way. But for the moment, we'll put these this way. Yep. Got 3-hole pen and punch, and I'm having trouble remembering how it works. That sounds really bad. But that same duotang, this thing here, I'm going to put my writing in this because what I'm going to be able to do is down the road, look at it and go, here's the change in the left-hand writing. I will have quantifiable proof that it worked. So I will end up doing that. Of course, looks like I'm going to do it backwards. Probably be an idea to actually do one thing at a time. What do you think? These all have to be filed, so they will be. But for the moment, that'll work. See, the thing is this. Get a goal in your mind. Get a goal, whatever it is, whatever dream you have. Uh-oh, what do we got? Joe goes, Joe. The short answer is absolutely. I've always enjoyed myself. I'm country. Okay. As Barbara Mandrell put it, I was country when country wasn't cool. Okay. The funny thing about it is you listen to Johnny Cash. He is the first true rap artist that I'm aware of. Understanding rap defined as speaking with music going. That's what Johnny Cash did. Yeah, when I write left-handing, my spelling is worse than I write right-handed. Not entirely surprising, Rachel. However, seriously, write more often with your left hand, and your spelling will match the spelling on the right. Hopefully, your spelling on your right hand is reasonable. Okay. But the important factor here, is this. Number one, you have to believe, you have to have the desire to change your life. You don't even have to believe it's absolutely possible. I knew somebody that got married for that reason. They knew each other for a month and decided they were getting married. And I asked, why would you do that? Well, we thought we'd try it out. Guess how well the marriage worked. Now, don't get me wrong, Joe. I'm certainly not picking on you for that one. There is no question I will somehow manage to get both feet in my mouth. I just have trouble figuring out how to get the third one in there. Oh, that's easy. Take somebody else. They'll do it for me. But I am quite willing to take a look at what you're doing and go, okay, you can pull it off. I'm not about to come in here and sit down and go, oh, you guys are such losers, such garbage people. Every one of you is extremely important. And frankly, from my end, I absolutely look at it going, the support I get from you guys is better than support that I've gotten from most of the people I run into. Okay. I literally started this stream because a bunch of people over in Spaced Out Radio asked if I would. So I did. It went in a slightly different direction than I was expecting. Yeah, it's a fact I can get both feet in my mouth. That's why I know what toe jam tastes like. No, don't go there. And don't actually do that. I can't even get my foot up in my mouth anymore. Not physically. But I will tell you, if, or more to the point, when you have a dream, it doesn't matter what it is within reason. Okay. I'll tell you, flying without an aircraft or without some aerial conveyance may be a bad idea to attempt, but if you desire to, here's how to go about it. Stand on the curb, or at best, stand on a chair. Jump off the chair or off the curb, thinking, I can fly. It's a lot less painful when you find out that whether you believe you can do something or not, you're still up against all of society going, humans cannot fly without an aerial conveyance. You cannot do it. I am living proof, although I can't, I shouldn't call it proof. I remember flying, and I don't mean levitating, although I remember doing that too when I was a kid. I remember flying. I remember walking through a solid wall. I remember teleporting. All of these things I remember doing when I was younger. In all fairness, the teleportation was only about, 26. So it would have been about 22 years ago. Okay. I was still with my ex at the time, with my then wife at the time. But these things are possible. I'm just not going to tell you we can replicate it right away. I will tell you that in a practical world, as in you desire your finances to come on track, absolutely. I can give you tools to avoid, let's say you're in trouble and you're on the verge of going bankrupt and you got people going, you've got to go bankrupt or go, get a debt settlement. If you're in that point, now, I do what I do here, I do for free. What I do in positive perspectives, I do for free. One-on-one, I charge a staggering $20 for 15 minutes, as in $80 an hour. Now, I have been paid in excess of $2,600 an hour. Okay, so we're looking at me now operating at a 97% discount. And I don't discount further on the whole. Sometimes I will, but that's another issue. Okay, but if you're in a struggle, absolutely talk to me. I will be posting information on it. Absolutely. And these are things I am implementing that I use myself. I've been bankrupt twice before. Therefore, I know exactly what you're going through from a relatable standpoint. Okay. When we're looking at self-confidence, okay, maybe you're saying they're struggling tooth and nail just to make ends meet. If that is the case, okay, if that is the case, it's time to take a look at it. Okay, now, right now we're looking at self-confidence. I don't know if I've got next week set up. Give me half a second here. What am I looking at here? Nope, I don't. Now, we looked at finances a couple of weeks ago. Okay, but again, guys, if there is a topic that you desire to look at, I seem to have a minimal restriction on it. I am not a trained doctor. I am not educated in any fashion, save high school. Okay, and there I was diagnosed mentally retarded. Right, I was told, my parents were told if he ever learns to tie his shoes, he's ahead of the game. I figured out a way around that. I wear boots. Oh, and that's a neat little thing. I have decided that I was looking at possibly getting my boots resold. I'm not going to bother spending the money on it. I'm not going to bother spending the money on it. When I come down to Texas, I'm going to buy a pair of brand new boots there and leave these ones behind, and they can get them to somebody that needs them. Because I'm certain there are people out there that can use them. For that matter, and this is directly to you, Storm, LA, and Joseph, if it falls into that. If you guys know somebody that can use the boots, absolutely take them and do with them what you will. Okay, because I'm not going to bother trying to bring them back up here. Okay, I had to, I ran into some interesting catches, but whatever the goal is that you've got, okay, absolutely. Now, here's where I can use your assistance. I would love to get on different radio stations and pass some of this information on. Okay, it's a wider area. I'm going to require that. There is no doubt there at all. I believe, and I'm a little short on it, but I believe that I'm wearing a size 10 right now. The thing is, where it comes to charity, I'm not about to turn money over to a registered charity or a registered nonprofit organization. Okay, not a prayer, except the SPCA and the food banks, or the global version. I think it's PETA. I think it's PETA, but I might be mistaken on the name. In that way, I can make certain that all of the money goes to where it belongs. Same as when I get around to opening a charity on this end, 100% of the administration cost will be handled by my company, Inner Voice Enterprises. It will not be handled by the donations, which is why I will quite readily say, if somebody hands me $10 and goes, make sure this goes to a charitable cause, that $10, contrary to the way Robin as in Robin Hood did it, contrary to his method, it won't go into my pocket for longer than necessary to move it to wherever it is. But I am quite willing and quite actively now aiming at letting people and guiding people to look at the world with renewed enthusiasm, admiration, encouragement, that sort of thing. This idea of going, we're all going to die, we're suffering from financial, from horrendous inflation rates, interest rates, absolute horrendous things that companies are doing. Here's all the bad things going on. Read this, sink it into your head. Okay? And I grew up in the military, so absolutely take all of that negativity and sink it in the head. Now, I believe it was the Navy that used the term for the head properly for that purpose. Okay. Now, honestly, if you're using paper, use something that's dissolvable. Toilet paper works. It's about the same use. And it fits in the head quite nicely. Just a thought. Now, yes, I'm a little twisted. Absolutely. I fully admit that. But I will tell you the important factor from my standpoint is this. That's called vertigo, which is why I keep this stuff. Not drugs. Salt. Technically drugs. But the neat part about it, from your standpoint, is when you desire your life to take a change. Okay. Repeatedly doing the same thing over and over again with the intention of doing it better and adjusting it to make it work better is the way to build your self-confidence. Okay. Repeatedly doing the same thing over and over, making no effort to change and expecting a different outcome is best called insanity, which itself is an interesting word, because if you're insane, you break it in pieces, you're in the state of sanity. So, if you're insane, you're sane. Okay. If you're a binary organism, you're binary. If you're a non-binary organism, or if you relate to being non-binary, you're binary by definition. Okay. It's that simple. And yes, I did actually put that in my newsletter. I wrote an article on non-binary is binary. And there is a very logical way of looking at that. We can look you can look in your own house, in your own mirror, and go, I'm not content with what I look like. Or I'm not content with the way my life is going. This is where we are going to take this live stream, and with your guys' assistance and your guys' participation, we are going to start we've already started changing the world, changing your world for the better, with the confidence, with the ability. Much of the abilities that you've got, you simply have forgotten you've got them. Okay. And for those of you that go, oh, I'm too old to change. I can't break the habit. I don't want to change. I'm too old for it. You're only too old to change if you're dead. And understand, the body itself will pass away eventually. I'm still working on how to bypass that. Your soul will not pass away anytime soon. Although, for those of you that are interested in that sort of thing, there is a way for death to occur of the soul. And I will explain that one day. Yeah, Hele goes, mineral supplements, salt. For me, cures vertigo like that. I suffered for decades. And my buddy turns around and looked at me the other day and goes, Keith, I think you're low on salt. I looked at him and I went, huh? He says, you don't cook with it. I said, I don't cook. He goes, just take a little bit of salt, right, and put it in your system. I do that, all of a sudden it's gone. And Joe goes, I'm going to say my favorite Johnny Cash song is Ain't No Grave to Lay Me Body Down. Yeah, I used to listen to Johnny all the time. You know, honestly, I listen to some of the rock and roll. Okay, and between 1986 and 1987, I listened to a fair chunk of soft rock. I am still country through and through. You know, but oh, by the way, Joe, if you like Johnny Cash, listen to Tennessee Flat Top Box by Roseanne Cash, Johnny's daughter. Another really good song. And yes, LA, I did catch the 30-minute warning. So we are not looking at, and this sounds real cocky. I mean, do understand, I'm very reclusive. I have been for decades. And, well, no, I became very reclusive a decade ago, before lockdown. Now I'm going, okay, it's time to come out in public. It's time to say, look, we're not doing this anymore. And this one we will take a song from Twisted Sister. We are not going to take it anymore. I'm no longer in a mindset to say, hey, if I leave this alone, they'll wake up. Unfortunately, in 60 years, this hasn't happened. Heck, look at the history books. In 2,000 years, this hasn't happened. Okay, we're still looking at slave mentality from 7,000 years ago. Where people were told, you're not worth as much as I am. Well, I'm telling you, the people in this chat room are absolutely phenomenal where it comes to the support and the encouragement I get here. There aren't words to say thank you enough. The reality of it is that I'm going to the top, and I'm going to take each and every person with me that I can arrange. I'm not footing the bill for it. I'm simple, unless you count the tools to do it. Now, my office is coming clear. That whole wall is nothing but books that I've written, as in inventory. This one is more books that I've got for inventory. So every one of the books that I've got that is listed, every one of the books that I've got that is on the Buy Me a Coffee site, every one of those books is in print, ready to go. Okay, and just to be clear, because many people seem to miss it, the prices listed on Buy Me a Coffee include the cost of shipping. This is why, with me coming down to Texas, okay, if I've got pre-sales, I will bring them with me, and you won't have to pay the shipping. Okay, it's just that simple. But like I said, the reality of it is this. I can show you. Nathan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you got a show tonight, don't you? Absolutely. Now, Nathan, remember, this isn't to Nathan, it's about him. When it comes to Nathan, drop in. He's got a beautiful show. Lots of really neat ideas. Thank you so much for that. Drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel, and then share the daylights out of it. It is sharing these links and sharing the connections to each other and the ideas that we each have that is going to facilitate changing the path. I kid you not, changing the path that civilization is on right now. There is no point in continuing down the negative road it's on. unless you're looking forward to the end of the world. And then you're going to be disappointed because the end of the world is coming. You know, it is coming, just like Jaws. You know that. Do. In about 5 billion years. Maybe longer. I don't know how long the sun's going to last. When the sun winks out, life on Earth dies. At least life as we know it. Maybe life will have evolved to be able to handle that. I'm not holding my breath. Of course, in all fairness, I can only hold my breath for 1 terabyte minute. I think. Certainly 30 seconds, but I should do something about that. And that one I can do. You know, I used to be able to hold my breath for almost 2 minutes underwater. It's a good thing to hold your breath underwater. But whatever your goal, whatever your desire, whatever your dream, it's time to make it a reality. Quit buying into the idea you can't do it. You're not capable. You're not smart enough. I got news for you. The most, shall we say, complicated thing anybody ever did was take the simplest idea and make it complicated. Okay, weight loss is, if you're not medically compromised, weight loss is a simple mathematical problem. Put in less calories than what you're burning. You'll drop weight. Okay, if you've got a medical challenge, we got a couple other steps we got to go through. But, and again, there are medications that work like an absolute charm. Whether it's modern medicine or naturopathic, doesn't matter. If you require the assistance, use it. Okay, I require assistance with my leg, so I use a cane. This is just the reality behind life. You desire your life to change. You're the one that's going to have to change it. And, but I don't have the confidence to do it. Confidence is not something you have. It is something you construct. It is something you build. And that is done by experiencing success. I will absolutely help you as best I can to succeed. But that boils down to going, okay, what's your plan? What's the method you're planning on using? Here's the hiccups. Here's the benefits. Here's the strong points. And I'm not known for being subtle, in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, but I will tell you, in college, I didn't drop out. I spent a couple of years. But I will tell you, the 4th term, I got really good at ping pong. Wasn't great for the marks. But I went that in a direction. Absolutely, LA. You gain the confidence during the process of achieving your mission. Neat part there. When I learned to drive, I was very edgy about it. Okay. Didn't know how to drive, was uneasy on handling the car. And as I did it more often, I became very comfortable with it. Now I'm just 3/4 blind, so I don't actually see the other. No, that's wrong. But it is time for us to literally work together to make these changes happen. Okay. And there is no doubt in my mind that you've got the ability, regardless of what you've been told, possibly all your life, regardless of that, you've got the ability to change your life. And for those of you that are suffering from that's almost as bad. Yeah. LA goes, hey, at least you don't have to watch the accident. No, I've seen enough of them. I don't need to see another one. I will tell you, when I tore my leg apart, I still see that accident clear as a bell. Same as when I picked off a pedestrian. I can still see her coming up over the hood of my car. And like I said, in all of my years, I've never had a speeding ticket. And even when I ran under the pedestrian, I didn't get any points on my driver's license either. God knows how I managed to get away with that, but I'm quite happy about it. Okay. So I am going to be finding ways. Once the books start moving, I'm going to start to enhance what I've got available, and I will be coming up with merchandise that can go as well. But I've got to start getting what I've got here moving. And yes, there is such a thing as being too nice for your own good. For those of you that are sitting there going, I'd really like to be able to do this. Something to keep in mind. I remember an interview. Most of you, whether you're a country fan or not, most of you have heard of a lady by the name of Shania Twain. Okay, what you may not realize is about 10 years ago, I watched an interview with her. Okay, she'd already been on the circuit for a decade. And she was on a talk show doing an interview. And she told people, I still get butterflies in my stomach when I step on the stage. Okay. So even the superstars have glitches. Okay. From my standpoint, I will tell you the same thing. I'm passing on the same message Gene Simmons did. Okay. Gene Simmons said, for all of you creative people out there, get it straight. Creativity is 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. I'm building an empire. It's going to take time. Okay. I've already got an empire. It's just small. Okay. I intend to push it into the headlines. Okay. Just that simple. But I'm going to do it without telling you guys the world's going to end. Without following it up with, in about 5 billion years or so, talk to the geoscientists, the geophysicists. They're the ones that'll tell you how long the Earth will be here. Myself, I look at it going, the Earth will be here until it's not. And when it's not here, well, by then I won't be here anyway. But I figure I hid from the world, I hid from life for 56 years. No longer. I made the trip to Reno a month ago. I'm making another one in 2 months down to Texas. 3 months after that, I'm heading down to Utah again to bring my other half up here. We're already planning other trips. Okay, but while I'm doing that, I am now literally actively, and I will certainly ask your guys' assistance, actively looking to get onto other stations, other live streams, other podcasts to pass on this same message. The best message in the world, the best tools in the world are 100% useless if nobody knows where to find them. Okay, it's time for me to turn around and go, okay, here's where I am. Okay, if you're in the Kelowna area, absolutely drop me a line. I will certainly meet for coffee. Okay, if you're asking me to join you for a beer, I might. In all fairness, you'll drink the beer, I'll drink rye. I could not believe it when I was in Reno. I asked the waiter for 2 fingers of rye neat. And he looks at me, and this is an active bar. He looks at me and goes, what's that? I'm like, what do you mean, what's that? I admit, sometimes I speak an older version of English. Absolutely I do. Okay. But the reality is, I've talked about, I can't do this, I don't know if this is working. Funny thing is, this stream is working for me. Okay. I'm hoping it works for you guys as well. Okay. Because I'm going to stick to working with the simple tools. I'm going to have to look at a few things. There's topics that we haven't got to. And therefore, guys, bearing in mind, I am laying things out to be done. I've got 5 days out of the week that I work with. Okay. The energy, the individual, society, overall, as in the universe at large, and creativity. So absolutely, if you've got a topic that you'd like to look at, I don't care what the topic is. If I understand any of it, if I understand the topic, I will more than readily put a week into it. Okay. All I'm asking you guys for is if you've got a topic of interest, even if it is one we have done before, doesn't matter. Put it in the chat room or drop me a line, whether it's by messenger, by Skype, by email, or in the comments below. Any one of them, I'll keep an eye on it, and I'm going to start locking them in on my calendar to make it happen. But it'll be one topic a week, broken down into those 5 areas. I figure in this way, we can actually make this and make the stream grow, guide it to grow in a positive fashion. Now, I am not the best speaker on the planet. Okay, I don't have the flair that some of these speakers have, and I certainly am not a showman. Okay, I mean, I'm a showman, all right. You know, if I'm in a physical area near somebody, I can absolutely show you a man, absolutely. But that's where my showmanship ends. You know, the neat part about it is this world has a lot of potential. We can turn it into a much better place. Whether we have hell on earth or heaven on earth, that depends on what you're working on in your world. Right now, I look at this going, this is purgatory. It's a work in progress, but it is coming clear. And that is going to continue to improve because I'm not going to let it stop. But that's my choice. I am inviting you to join us on this journey into a much brighter tomorrow. Okay, but I'm not going to make that decision for you. Primarily because I don't like telling people what to do. Only what not to do. Okay, and some people have found out the hard way that there are certain things you can tell me that will absolutely result in a negative response. Okay, something happened when I was in Reno, and the reality is I didn't realize how much it was going to set me off. I am known here, and by most people, I'm known by Keith. Okay, that's what I go by. Okay, I'm very clear about it. My name, my first name, the R, stands for Ronald. Okay, businesses, especially banks, know me as Ronald. Anywhere that I have to have an account, they know me by my first name. But somebody in Reno made the mistake of asking what my first name was. I told him, and then he turned around and decided, he told me flat out, I told him I go by Keith. He goes, I'm going to call you Ronald. What came out of my mouth was, quite frankly, a very mildly veiled threat. And I told him point blank, I said, look, and there was no joke to it. I said, look, I suggest you forget that name now. Okay. Fortunately, he dropped it and everything settled down. I've got my shortfalls. Okay. The reality is I'm working on eliminating my shortfalls, especially the ones that I feel are a pain. Okay. When I was afraid of horses, I never bothered worrying about it. I never went around them. But whatever your life is doing, If you're lacking right now the confidence to make the changes, absolutely talk to me. Okay. Thank you very much, LA. Absolutely drop me a line. Let the people you know. Okay. Let them know we're here. This is where we are going to make this world change. This is where we're going to turn the lights on so people start looking at the things we can accomplish. Okay. Absolutely. Now, we got 600 and there were 627, I think, today. As a matter of fact, LA already told me. But if every one of you simply brings one person to the show that sticks around, one person within the year, okay, we will be at over 1,200. Now, 2,000 years ago, this whole thing, okay, 2,000 years ago, the whole idea of changing the world was uttered in a simple concept. Get along. You desire. Perfect. Thank you very. There we are. Thanks, LA. LA is just confirming it was 627. 2,000 years ago, it was suggested people simply get along. You desire the reality of life. You desire to understand it. Talk to everybody else. Okay. Talk to your neighbors. Experience life. But use your brains. Okay. Rest assured, everybody and their dog could ask me to go parachuting. Could ask me to go and try parachuting. I don't think I'll ever do it. I don't see the point in getting out of a perfectly good aircraft. Okay. And rest assured, once you've ridden a tornado, there is nothing to compare. Well, that's not true. A hurricane might do it. But it is time now to change the way this world is going. In spite of all of the religions out there, almost all the religions out there, almost all the leaders, okay, in spite of the negativity that they are perpetrating, in spite of all the stuff you see on social media going, oh, all these people are miserable. Look at these miserable people. These people, they don't want to see these. Look at these things to embarrass them. It's time to focus on the positive. It is time to look at your life and go, this is what I've got. I am grateful I've got this. Okay. I've got a roof over my head. I've got lots of food in my house. Gordon, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Whatever tool you're using, whatever medium you're using to gain your information, understand you can either see opportunity or oppression. Your call. Okay, if you don't know how to see the opportunity or the positive side of it, talk to me. I will be more than happy to point you in the right direction. But you got to realize every coin has three sides. Okay, the positive, the negative, and the neutral. And rest assured, no matter what your financial state, your money does not care how you feel. Your clothing does not care what you look like. Okay, it really is an issue of you. And it's time that we put our, really knuckle down and make things happen. Okay. And absolutely, I am definitely offering to take you with me on this journey. For those of you interested in doing so, I have worked out a way where you can actually take the books I've got. I've already got it worked out where you can actually make a little bit of money by helping me with sales as well. I'm not going back to a major marketing company. I won't do it. They have proven to me, for me personally, to be absolutely useless. Scratch that. They were a great way to burn off a few $1,000s that I really couldn't afford to burn off. But, we are reaching the end. I just saw that there. We are reaching the end. I will be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to show you how confidence in your life is already affecting the rest of the world. Okay, it's already affecting civilization. So we will be back again tomorrow, assuming I don't drop dead. 4:30 PST, 4:30 p.m. PST. Okay, until 6:30. Until then, first and foremost, thank you so very much for sharing your time with me today. For sharing your time with us. Absolutely love it. Okay, really appreciate this and the company. That said, I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, hold that thought. Nathan is talking ufology tonight. Ufology in public tonight on the Quantum Show. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. Again, if you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up. Subscribe to Daylights Out of the channel. Okay, now, until tomorrow, do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.